Circling back to that big vote coming out of Oakland, where the council, well, the majority voted in support of having that stadium built at Howard Terminal. To get us some more information from the A's perspective, President Dave Kaval joining us. So what was your gut reaction to the vote last night?
Well, it was a really big vote, a huge milestone for the project to have a final environmental impact report that's certified by the City Council in a 6-2 vote. Just a great day for the A's and for the community.
So we know that you have gone down to Vegas. You and I have talked several times about this. And of course, options are always important for the team. So will you continue to go down to Las Vegas? I'm going to put your feet to the fire and ask you that specifically.
Well, it's a totally legitimate question, and we are still on the parallel paths, both in Southern Nevada with our effort there, as well as in Oakland, really until we get a final binding agreement. And that's something that we hope could come as soon as this summer with the City Council. This environmental vote was an important step, a huge milestone, but we need an economic deal with the city that we both agree with and one that gets voted on in a binding way.
And how come this is so important? I mean, we know that the Coliseum, although some people really want the A's to stay at the Coliseum, you and I have also spoken about the fact that that is not a viable option. The Coliseum has all kinds of issues. I mean, there was like the sewage backup that happened at one of the games. The lights flickered one time, Dave. So, I mean, there's been a host of issues at the stadium. That's really not where you guys want to stay or grow. So is that kind of the reasoning behind that there needs to be this dual track?
Yeah, I mean, it's really Howard Terminal or bust. You know, we've spent 5 years working on our plan there for our amazing waterfront ballpark, privately financed. It's going to bring 7,000 new jobs, you know, obviously housing, including affordable housing. It's bigger than a ballpark. And we just really need an answer, and we need to get it figured out because the Coliseum is 10 years past its useful life. And like you said, we can barely keep the lights on some days. So time is of the essence. We really need to know where we're going to be. We only have a lease through 2023. And we really need to know this by the summer if we can get approval on this ballpark at the waterfront.
So let's talk about some of the aspects of the Howard Terminal. You mentioned a couple of the sprinkling aspects. What would you say to some people, the naysayers, about this project? What do you think are some of the big wins? There's been some criticism that it is only trying to appease the stakeholders, but from your perspective, what do you think is the win for Oakland?
Well, this puts Oakland's waterfront on the map. It redefines it. It creates a destination for people throughout the region or even the world to come visit this incredible Sydney Opera House facility on the waterfront. Look at what Oracle Park has done for San Francisco and its waterfront over the last 25 years. Oakland should have the same thing or better, and we have a plan for that. We have the housing with it. We have all the community benefits that are going to come with the project. It's really going to be a tremendous win, and hopefully we can just get the city leaders to agree to that vision. And we made a big step yesterday, but we really need to get to that final economic deal with the city to move forward and know we can build.
Some people there at Howard Terminal think that it's going to create more chaos. We've got supply chain issues that you're well aware of. How will we balance those needs for the entire Bay Area to make sure that the port still operates as a full functioning port, but at the same time share the base of Howard Terminal with the baseball stadium?
Well, it's important to remember that the Howard Terminal has not really been used as a shipping terminal for over 10 years. And so it's an area that's on the edge. It's surplus. It's a location that the port commissioners have deemed better for commercial operations like a ballpark and housing and commercial real estate. And so I think it's all about the future of the port. This is going to bring dollars to the port. They can reinvest that in their actual maritime industries. And we've made a lot of concessions in terms of what we've done, the turning basin, the buffer zone, the transportation plan, to ensure that the port operation and the ballpark can work in a very symbiotic way.
I like that word, symbiotic. Let's talk about the lack of symbiotic issues going on with the lockout. There is that current lockout. What do you think about that and going forward? Are we going to have baseball this spring?
Well, we know that both sides are working very hard to get to a positive outcome and ensure that baseball is back. I know that's happening both with the commissioner's office as well as the Players Association. And as one of the club leadership executives myself, we're doing everything we can to support that, and we're hopeful that the continued dialogue will result in a positive outcome as soon as possible.
Well, we know that you are a very, very busy person, and we really appreciate you taking some time to talk to KRONon. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for having me.